few more. These, what I did at book releases in 2014, they came in 2 sets. Personal Nudity was one, Revealed was another. It has longer poems in it, and ones for different sections. There are a bunch on dreams, there are a bunch on news stories, and there's just a bunch. And they're longer ones. And there are a few in here, and I was going to share 2 of them right now with you that are from news stories. And this first one, pretty funny. It's called Military Intelligence. So a few Marines from the same department were working together, and when there's nothing going on, they'll get bored. Now, they're both like 6 foot or 6'1" each, and a 250-pound one would just give like 160-pound one a look. I'll have to say that again so that makes sense. And the 250-pound one would give just the 160-pound one a look, and they'd know that the challenge was on. Well, this time the challenge was with Skittles, that little rock sour candy that was sweet and tart center. Well, they'd grab a bag of Skittles, and they'd grab a bag of Skittles, and they would each fill up a hand brimming full of Skittles. Then the trick would be they'd have to each shove all of these Skittles in their mouth, but not swallow, just to see who could win the contest for who could keep the mouth full of Skittles for the longest amount of time. Each one would try and make the other one laugh, and you couldn't speak, and then one of these Skittles would be stuck to their mouths. And when you cram all these Skittles in your mouth, you just start salivating like nothing else, and just to counteract the sweetness and the tartness in your mouth. Well, these 2 Marines tried to fill these sometimes by working in the same department, and they'd be salivating to save their lives, and all at the same time they're trying to keep these Skittles in their mouths, not laugh and not swallow. I just remember one of them one time with their head over their garbage can, salivating over a toilet, letting a river run to it because they had to win the bet. This one's called Big Hair and Fire Don't Mix. This reporter would agree that people in the world exist like this, though we have no photographic evidence. We can state that there was a woman who was 5 foot tall if she was lucky, and she had long perm brown hair. The short hair pretty much stayed down except for her bangs. For this woman decided to use enough hairspray to make her bangs, which were about as long as her face, stand perfectly straight up from her forehead. All we'd hope is that she had stock in the hairspray company so that the hairspray usage might actually be a good investment for her. Maybe she wanted to look like she was taller, we don't know, but we were witness to hair like this, so we can testify that there are people in the universe who choose to do things like this to their hair regularly. But the latest report that we got was from Mike Lazarchuk that was based in Michigan. Jackie's girl used a lot of hairspray regularly, and one day, after making sure, and I quote Mike, that her hornet's nest stayed together, she lit a match to light a cigarette. Reports are that the flame hit her hair and set her head on fire. Jackie's girl was in the burn center of the hospital for 6 weeks as her head blistered and scarred. And all she was able to do was use that remote control in her hospital room as she recovered and watch the pretty faces on the soap opera programs. I don't think anybody heard the poem that I had read written for last week. I had filmed it live at 2 in the afternoon while you guys were reading. And I ended up reading it at my most recent feature at the Baha'i Center, so I'm going to share it with you. And it's called Utopia, Never Happened. The last thing I remembered was making the left-hand turn at the car intersection in the middle of nowhere. There was no one for miles, but I suddenly saw an oncoming car careening straight toward me. All I could do was slam on my brakes and brace for impact. But I woke up in a strange bed, and I could hear health monitors. I think it was in a hospital room, but I had no idea where I was. I was mortified. I rubbed my temple. I felt okay, maybe bruised, so I didn't know why I was here. And the last thing I wanted was doctors I didn't know telling me that I couldn't leave and leaving me trapped like a prisoner. I've been trapped like this before. I know this feeling all too well, and I just wanted to be free. I worked all my life to gain my independence, to stand up for myself, to do what was right. And there was no way I wanted to be placed into a straitjacket and strapped into a hospital again. I was better than this. I had to be. I rubbed my temple as I carefully walked toward the closed door until the door opened. A man saw me and smiled. "I'm glad to see you're doing well," he said, smiling. As I felt my blood begin to boil, I asked, "Where am I?" And he could tell from my tone that I shouldn't be reckoned with, so he laid it all out for me. "You got away from other people with your car. Then you were knocked out from the crash. The driver from the other car didn't make it, so we flew you here. You see, we've watched your work. You've got a lot of talent, and when we've seen you fight every step of the way to get what you want, and you've tried to accomplish your goals and had to fight. I think you understand how unfair the government can be, and we know you understand how those with the government's mentality will use any tactic other than reason to stop you as well. So we thought we could save you from that, where you could work with your mind and be respected again." I just stared at him, but I think he saw the look in my eyes turn from an indicting stare to an incredulous gaze before I looked away in disbelief. "I can tell you aren't interested, but others like you around the world got fed up with fighting a system they could not beat." I had to stop him. "Where am I?" My tone was almost threatening. "We flew you to an island where no radar can detect it, because here you can work and you won't be stopped." "I was able to work before," I answered. "And how many hoops did you have to jump through to do it?" he answered, which stopped me enough to think about all I'd fought in my life and how it was usually all to no good. "We've seen your work," he started to say, now more in a relaxed tone. "And because of that, we've started an account for you, for all the good you've done and never been paid for before. You can stay here with us, with other open minds that are eager to learn and listen." I stared for a moment, knowing I was taken here, but wondering if there was any truth to what he was saying. "And maybe once you see people here, maybe you'll see that everyone here is worthy of respect." He waited for me to interject. I thought about the goals I accomplished. Then I thought about how I had to fight to get anything done. I didn't interject. "You can stay here as my guest, but I think you'll look forward to being here on your own. You'll be able to work at what you need to do, and you will be paid fairly for your work." He paused again. "But you need rest. Please, sleep, and we'll talk in the morning." And with that, he left the room. I slowly sat down on the bed again. In a way, it sounded like a dream come true, being free from the suppressing forces, having free and true independence to live the way I was meant to. I rubbed my temple again as I lay down in bed. I was brought here against my will. But wait a minute, could this all be an intellectual utopia? All I could think was that this could be my chance to live with others from around the world that came here to this one sacred place where our independent wills actually brought us all together to be smarter and stronger and more free. I closed my eyes. I don't know how long my eyes were closed, but when I opened my eyes, I was in my own bed, with my fingers still at my temple. I knew this couldn't be a dream, but here I am. And after I'm sure I heard this man's words, I don't want to believe that this respect, this freedom, this independence, this utopia, I can't believe that all of this, that this never happened. I want to believe that this respect, this freedom, this independence, that this utopia is just waiting for me to find it. Thank you.